Hello, hello. Welcome back to Kanchari Yoga Andino, Andean Yoga. This little space, very familiar space to share with you some of the knowledge and experiences that we are having with our masters from the high Andes. We were in a complete series about um this pilgrimage from the bottom of the landscape to the top of the mountain. Amazing series, Rainbow Serpent series. And today we're going to start a complete new series talking about the immune system. We think that it's so important to realize that all of the aspect of illness is related not just to the symptoms but to the subtleness and the energetic aspect of illness, but not just illness. When we say illness in Andean yoga and all the subtle arts of body movements, illness is not just the symptoms, but illness is related to a proposal of life, life proposing a challenge, life proposing a dance. And if we answer that proposal in the proper correspondence, well, we enjoy that and we learn something from that. If we fight against that, we fight against illness, well, we're gonna have a battle. And in a battle, there's a winner and there's a loser. So in a dance, all are enjoying that dance. So immune system is a very complex answer to what everything that presents entering in our body and could become illness. So this immune system inside us is full of organs that are dancing together to answer properly to the entering of a pathogen. So we, in the next 7 classes, we're gonna try to understand not from the physiology, not from the anatomy, but some bits of it, obviously, but we're gonna try to understand all these parts of the immune system from the vision of the Andean yoga, from the vision of the vital force philosophy. So this first class is related to the lungs. It's the entering of the air, but in the air is the main vital force source. Is where we let life enter in our body. Is what life is renewing our time on earth coming from our breath, and the lungs are so important. All these health crisis that we are experiencing with the pandemic is related to an illness challenging our knowledge about the lungs, the answering of the lungs when a virus comes in. So the main problem with the COVID is related to how the lungs answering in excess in the immune answer. So today we're gonna try to root, to let the lungs root to the navel. That's the main, that's the poetic challenge today. We're gonna root, like imagine that our lungs need to be rooted to Pachamama, to Mother Earth, to the navel. We call it Qosqo. Here is a symbolism of Pachamama, of the soil, in the top of Pachamama. So Qosqo is Pachamama in abundance and creativity aspect. So the lungs need to be connected to Pachamama. And for that, we're gonna start to make some exercises to enhance, expand, and root our lungs to Pachamama. So first of all, I'm inviting you to leave your cell phones, your computer, somewhere that it won't bother, and please join me in this little pilgrimage to know about your lungs. The first thing we're gonna do is gonna prepare our body to the experience of expanding our perception to energy. For that, as usually as usually do, we're gonna take out the dense vital force from our body, mainly the dense energy, we call it hucha in Quechua, is accumulated in the joints. So the first thing we're going to do is to take out that dense energy from some joints, the main joints on our body. So the first thing we're going to do is to curve the palm of your hand, and we're going to hit in the joint of our arm for 11 times, but with enough strength to make the blood come in and renew the blood that is stagnant in this joint. So pay attention, prepare your hand, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You will notice that your skin is gonna turn a bit red. It's very normal because the blood is coming in and exchanging the dense energy, the dense blood as well. We're gonna change our hand, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The second joint is the joint between our arms and our thorax. So we're gonna hit underneath our arm for 11 times. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. Change your hand, and 1, 2, 11. All right. The next joint, we're gonna take out the dense energy from the connection between the legs and the trunk of our body. So we're gonna hit this area. Be careful, do not hit the sensitive part of your body, but we're gonna use both hands together. So prepare your hands, prepare your intent, and go on. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 11. The next joint is gonna be our knees, but we're gonna hit behind the knees. So we're gonna hit first with our left hand. 1, 2, 4, 5, 11. And we're gonna change and hit the right one. 11. All right. Just for that, our body is changing the consciousness. Now, pay attention to your feet, how your weight is resting in the palm of your feet. This is an amazing thing to feel. It's so obvious that we are not paying attention, but pay attention to that. All our body weight is held by the palm of our feet. So balancing a bit and feel how it changed the pressure in the palm of your feet. And try to perceive the texture of the floor that you are stand on. Maybe the temperature of the floor. We take every class some bit, just a piece of, a little part of the class to expand the contact of our body to the ground, to Mother Earth. That's a very important thing, to be barefoot and feel the ground, feel the floor, feel the soil. So now open your feet, your shoulders wide. Try to find a proper rooted position. Pay attention to your knees, a bit bent. Pay attention to your hip. We're gonna rotate the hip to the front just a bit to take tensions from the lower back. Pay attention to the shoulders. And we're gonna start a balancing movement, waving our arms, but the movement is coming from our legs, not coming from our hip, from our legs. So let's start. Go one side to another, waving your arms. Your arms are loose, completely loose. Your feet are grounded, nailed to the floor. Your side is deepening the movement, is joining the movement. Pay attention to your breath. It's gonna help you get your own rhythm. And finally, use your visualization to mix energy from the right to the left, left to the right. Try to feel the subtleness of both energy qualities. And slowly stop the movement. Just stay, put your hands in your navel and stay one moment to feel some dizziness, and let it come down. All right. I'm gonna be a bit closer because I'm gonna show you. We're gonna breathe together. We're gonna pay attention to our breath. The first thing we have to know that breathe the breathing, our breath, could be at will or unwilling. You are not thinking about breathing, but it's happening. But at some point, if you want, you can pay attention to your breath and control it. So when we don't control it, it's just a little a quantity of air coming in and out in the upper part of our lungs, and it changes just a bit of the quantity, the capability of our lungs. It's just changing just a bit of the full air in our lungs. So now we're gonna pay attention to the middle part of our lungs, the thoracic part of our breath. If you can breathe in, you're gonna expand your chest, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. And you can feel how your chest expands to the sides. This is a very important breath for anyone who is playing, for example, the trumpet or saxophone. So explore a bit more your thoracic breath. Feeling your hands, the expansion to the sides. All right. And now we're gonna go deeper and lower. We're gonna try to breathe with our abdomen, with our belly. And how we do it? We're not putting air in our stomach. We are relaxing a muscle that separates the abdomen with our lungs. It's called diaphragm. And that muscle is gonna relax and let the lungs expand to the abdomen and making our belly come out. So it looks like we are breathing with our belly, but actually it won't happen. Don't worry. So put your hands in your belly and breathe in deeply. Try to push air to the lower part of your lungs. And suddenly, you're gonna feel that your belly is gonna expand. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm gonna show you to the sides. So it's gonna expand like a balloon. Your belly is expanding to the outside everywhere in any direction and comes in again. So we call it abdominal breath, thoracic, and this upper part of our lungs is called clavicle. So we're gonna call it clavicle breath. So now we're gonna try to feel the three parts of our lungs. We're gonna breathe out, and we start with abdominal breath, letting the air go very low. Then thoracic, and at the last part, clavicle. Breathe and hold, just hold a bit and breathe out. Again, breathe in to your belly. Then expand your chest. And feel just the upper part of your lungs. And hold as much as you can. And slowly breathe out. When I say slowly, if you don't make any sound, that's perfect. Just as slow as you can, as silent as you can. So you're gonna try it again. Breathe out, all out. And breathe in. Your belly, your chest, your clavicle. And hold as much as you can. And before you get stressed by that, slowly breathe out. Breathe normally. And now we're going to add just a little detail. When we are full of air, we're going to press our sphincter, anal sphincter, and we're going to push our throat to close our glottis. We're going to close it to put some pressure in our lungs. So we're going to shut the pelvic floor, shut it, put some pressure in the muscle to to close our lungs from the lower part and closing our throat, putting pressure in our lungs in the upper part. And we're gonna hold as much as we can. And before we get crazy about it, we're gonna breathe in just a bit to unlock our glottis and breathe out silently. Yeah, you're gonna try it? Put your hands in your belly to help you. Breathe out. And breathe in. Belly, chest, clavicles. When you're full of air, close your pelvic floor, close your throat, and hold as much as you can. And when you're ready, breathe in just a bit and breathe out silently. All right. That puts you in a different state. Right. All right. Now we're gonna we are ready to experience some ritual movements to make the lungs rooted to the Qosqo. And for that, before start, I'm inviting you to put your left hand in your chest, your right hand on top of it. Close your eyes. And we're gonna sacralize this moment, saying with me, Pachamama, my mother, Taita Inti, my father, Munay Sonko, I am. Open your eyes. And the first thing we're gonna do is attract the vital force from Pachamama, which is quite different from the vital force from Taita Inti. From Pachamama is a fresh, cold, like peppermint smell, green. You can imagine that energy colored like a green energy coming from Pachamama, and we're gonna guide that vital force to our top of our head, and then we're gonna change and receive the blessings, the vital force from Taita Inti, which is hot, is golden colored, and we're gonna go down from the sky to the earth. But there's a very important detail. We're gonna guide it with our hands. So we're gonna go down to the floor in the inner part of our feet, and we're gonna start to breathe in, and we're gonna guide it inside our legs to our Qosqo. And from there, it's changing from the Qosqo, it's changing the direction and coming from our back. When we can't go up with our hands, we're gonna change, like changing, making a bridge to keep going. But imagine that the vital force is coming from the ground to the legs, to our navel, coming to our back, going up, and stops in the top of our head when we finish to breathe in. That's a cycle of breathing in. When we get here, we're gonna receive the blessings from the sky, and we're gonna start to breathe out, coming in front of our face, our chest. And when we get to the Qosqo, we're gonna go to the back and to the back of our legs. Breathing out, and we start to breathe in. Qosqo, and go up. Keep breathing in and breathe out. First, pay attention to the movement, to the back of our legs, and breathe in. Qosqo, back. Keep breathing in and breathe out. Qosqo, back out of our legs, breathe in. And now you can visualize that vital force coming from Pachamama, green colored, and breathe out. And the vital force coming from the sky, Taita Inti, golden colored. Breathe in to the Qosqo, your backs, keep breathing in. Full of air, we breathe out. Coming from Taita Inti with golden energy. Breathe in to our Qosqo, go up. Green colored energy, breathe out. Anyone will try to find their own rhythm of breathing. Breathing out and getting to the floor. Last time, breathe in. Go up, your back. Full of air, we stop a bit in our head and breathe out. And stop in your Qosqo. Just take a moment to see if it makes any sense in your body. If something happens. we were making like a infinite symbol in our body, making this flowing design inside and outside of our body. Now we're gonna make an exercise to expand the lungs. We receive the blessings from Pachamama and Taita Inti, and now we're gonna make our lungs expand them. And for that, first, we're gonna expand it to the right and to the left. And for that, put your hands in your chest, and we're gonna breathe in, and we're gonna open our leg, right leg. We're gonna step to the right to make a double shoulders stand, and breathe in and expand your arms, making your chest bigger, like expanding your chest. When we are full of air, we're gonna look at our right hand, and when we look to the left hand, we're gonna come back, making a bridge between the right and the left. We're gonna make it to the other side, breathing in, expanding, full of air. We look at the left and establishing a bridge between left and right, and coming back to the center. Again to the right, breathe in, expand your lungs, look at the right, look at the left, and come back. You're gonna go to the left, breathe in, full of air, look at the left, and gonna link the left with the right and come back to the center. Last time to the right. Pay attention to the expansion of your lungs. Look at your right hand, your left hand, and come back to the center. Last time to the left. Look at the left and right hand, making a bridge between them, and come back to the center. Now pay attention to this. We're gonna make a connection between the ancestors and the future. We're gonna make a bridge between the past and the future. And for that, we're gonna turn our trunk, our hips gonna be there in the same place, but our trunk is gonna change the direction to the right. Yeah, we're gonna turn it, our trunk to the right, and we're gonna breathe in, expand our chest, look at your right hand, look at your left hand, and come back. When you join your hands, come back to your chest. We go to the left, turn your trunk, breathe in, look at your left hand, make that bridge to the right, come back, breathing out, and come back to your chest. Go to the right, breathe in, big breathing, expand your lungs, connect your right hand with your left hand and breathe out, and come back to your chest. Left side, big breathing, look at your left hand, your right hand, and come back, breathing out, and coming back to your chest. Last time to the right. Big breathing. Look at your right, your left hand and come back. Turn to the left. Breathe in. Look at your left and right hand and come back. Now we're gonna expand in diagonal. We're gonna take a step to the right, like 45 degrees to the right. And we're gonna put our right elbow looking to the sky and breathing in and expand in diagonal. And breathe out and come back to the center. We're gonna do the same thing to the left. Put your left elbow looking to the sky and breathe in and expand your chest and breathe out and come back to the center. Again, go to the right, expand to the right, look at your right hand, your left hand, and come back to the center. Again, let's do it to the left. Elbow, expand, breathe in. Look at your left, your right hand, making that bridge and come back to the center. Last time to the right. Elbow, expansion, full of air. Look at your right, your left hand, and come back to the center. Go to the left, elbow, expansion, breath. Look at your left, your right hand, and come back to the center. All right. And now we're going to establish a bridge between Pachamama y Taita Inti, the earth and the sky. And for that, we're going to join our left leg to the right, and we're going to expand my left hand to the sky, my right hand to the floor, and breathe in. And come back to the center. Now we're going to go to the other side, our right leg to the left, and expand ground and sky and come back to the center. Left to the right, expand your lungs vertically and look at your right hand, your left hand, and come back to the center. To the other side. Look at your left, right hand, and come back to the center. To the other side, expansion. Right, left hand, and come back to the center. Change sides, expand. Left, right, and come back to the center. Last time. Breathe in. Contact the sky and on earth. Look at your right and your left hand and come back to the center. And we go to the left. Look at your left, right hand, and come back to the center. All right. So we expanded our lungs in any direction. It's full of life, it's full of vital force. And now, this is a very important part, the last part of this class. We're gonna root our lungs to the Qosqo. And for that, we're gonna show the way. So we're gonna start to breathe in when we're gonna breathe in very deeply, very an abdominal breath. We're gonna breathe in full air in our bellies, and we're gonna put our hands in our chest with the lungs full of air, showing the way. And when we breathe out, we come back to the Qosqo, putting pressure. As the air is come out, we're gonna put pressure to come back to root the lungs to our Qosqo. And that's the most important part of the exercise. When we breathe in, we are imagining that our hands are taking light, white light, to our lungs. And when they're full of air, the lungs glow in a white, like the moon is glowing in our chest. And when we breathe out, that light connects with the Qosqo. So please join me. Put your hands in your navel. Breathe out. And breathe in. Take light to your lungs. And breathe out and put pressure in your hands, rooting the lungs with your Qosqo. Again, breathe in. Let your lungs glow with white, pure light. Breathe out and root them to the Qosqo. Again, breathe in. Let your Qosqo glow of energy and breathe out. And root the lungs with the Qosqo. Last time, breathe in. Feel the light in your lungs and breathe out and root it. Root your lungs to your Qosqo. Stay there, close your eyes. Leave your hands in your Qosqo and let your imagination grow with your lungs glowing in white, with your Qosqo glowing in red. And keep your eyes closed and put your hand in your chest, in the middle of your chest, your right hand on top of it. And imagine that from your heart comes out the most precious perfume, the perfume of gratitude for being alive, having a good life, having this body, this sensitivity, this presence, having people to share, gratitude for the whole life. And in balance and harmony, slowly, gently join your palms in prayer. Open your eyes, and you could say with me, Urpichai Sonkochai. Urpichai Sonkochai. That's a Quechua phrase. Literally means the dove that nests in my heart flies to the nest of your heart. That's a poetic image of gratitude. All right. Hope you enjoyed. This exercise is so important to put attention to our lungs. It's one of the most fragile parts of our body because it's in contact, direct contact with the outside, and is so sensitive and precious. The interchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs there. So it's so precious. Pay attention to your lungs, and you're gonna find that you can change your emotions, you can change the way you think, you can change the state of your consciousness. Just paying attention to your breath. Your breath is gonna guide the experience of reality. So if you pay attention, if you take the breath from the unwilling to your will, to your attention, you can change the state of your consciousness, the state of perception. So the next class, we're gonna talk about the spleen. What's spleen? Do I have a spleen? What's this in my body? We're gonna try to find what the spleen do related to the immune system, and we're gonna find some mysteries about the spleen. So join me the next class next Thursday at is it 8:30 UTC, 9:30 London time. Thank you very much. Gracias, Sandra, que está ahí. Kalpa, kalpa, kalpa. Kalpa means force, power. So thank you and see you next class.